Are you ready?
Take 3 Wrestling Podcast it is. June the 26th, 2025. Or as us Disney fans like to call it, Stitch Day. I am joined by the other half of the Fat Cider.
Hey, yo.
We are here. We're going to talk professional wrestling. We've been together for the last 3 hours as I was on 3CT, as well as moonlighting a special Tuesday edition.
We need to make the emergency call to the pen.
I'm so worn out, I'm eating a popsicle.
Yeah, and to think I do this every week.
I'm spent.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm telling you, it is a lot.
It's a lot when there's intern Mark involved.
Well, that's true.
And then we have our own intern Mark.
Yeah, it's I mean, I deal with intern Mark, and then Joe. So.
And then you have to hope that Smokey or Tim aren't in a mood.
Yeah. Right?
It's a lot dealing with those children.
You ain't kidding. He ain't lying.
Joe said that he was awake. We'll see if he actually gets here.
He ain't lying.
Because, well, he said he was going to get here. But we're going to talk about all things. Let's go to Saudi Arabia. Yep. Was it a good thing that they still went? Was it a bad thing?
We'll talk about it.
We're going to preview Night of Champions. I have blind rankings that involve both Saudi Arabia and Night of Champions.
Ooh.
It's a chock full show, but before we begin, Jim, do me a favor real quick. Hit that breaking news button.
Oh, we got some breaking news?
Earlier this evening on the MLW Summer of Beast YouTube show, they're doing a live show right now. Former WWE competitors Donovan Dijak and Bishop Dyer, a.k.a. Baron Corbin, the new MLW Tag Team Champions.
Yo, good for them.
So, shout out to the two of them winning the tag titles earlier today at that show. Right now, the main event is actively or was in the ring. Oh, it just went final, according to PW Insider. Matt Riddle retained as he defeated Kenta.
Okay.
So those are there. Ultimo Guerrero defeated Alexander Hammerstone and Matthew Justice to retain the Openweight Championship. Kushida defeated Diego Hill. I don't know who that is. Oh wow. Austin Aries has declared himself in the Opry Cup that they do, so I guess he's wrestling again. Yeah, so shout out to them for winning the titles. That's the only title change on the show. It opened the show. Cheers.
There you go. Very good. I think some news earlier today as well. Busted Open is moving to its own 24/7 wrestling channel on Sirius.
Hold on. Joe lost the link again.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
I'm sending it to him. Give me
Thank
a sec.
You.
Continue talking about Busted Open.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I'm not a Dave LaGreca guy myself.
No, really? Oh my god, I'm so surprised.
I'm not really the biggest fan of a lot of the people that are on Busted Open, Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer wears out his welcome, and but I think it's really cool that wrestling is at a place in the pop culture realm where you have a dedicated 24/7 station. Now, granted, look, Sirius XM, I'm a subscriber. There is so much content that's on like the Sirius XM app, but the fact that you are going to have a streaming channel that will be available in most all vehicles with Sirius packages.
You said serious packages.
And
Right as Joe gets here.
here's Joe. But yeah, I think it's really cool that wrestling's at a place where it's talked about enough that Sirius XM dedicates a streaming channel to 24/7 pro wrestling talk. I mean, when you think about it, there's a bunch of music channels, but like the streaming talk channels that are on there are stand-up comedy, which is big, politics and news, which is big, some lifestyle stuff, obviously a big thing, and sports. And now that it's serious, and or that wrestling has cut out a chunk of pop culture enough that Sirius goes, we're giving you a 24/7 channel. That's a cool thing. That is a cool thing.
I agree.
But how do you think they're going to fill content all day?
I mean, I think they will probably incorporate, because there's sometimes where like the Wrestling Observer like podcast gets played on there. In the past they had aired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like maybe it doesn't anymore, but I know like I would tune into what it used to be on like Fight Nation or whatever. And
so I have the press release up right now.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Busted Open will air daily, 9 a.m. to noon. LaGreca primarily being the host, but you'll also have Bully, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, as well as others. And then that will be followed by wrestle analyst, podcaster, and XM host Sam Roberts doing a 2-hour show, the Not Sam Wrestling Live, from noon to 2. That's Monday through Thursday. On Fridays from noon to 2 time slot will be Peter Rosenberg doing Cheap Heat Live.
Okay.
I like Peter Rosenberg.
Every weekday from 2 to 4, we'll hear Off the Ropes, the new show hosted by Jonathan Coachman. He'll be joined by a rotating cast of former wrestlers, including Nick Nemeth, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Thunder Rosa, and Tom Pestock.
So all the people that are on Busted Open, got it.
Every Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon, taking over the third part of the Busted Open show will be Natty with the Heartbeat with Natalia.
I like that. Okay.
You'll also have Matt Cardona will be part of the Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 lineup and will appear weekly, but his day will kind of ebbs and flow and change. Daily episodes of Busted Open will play at 4 o'clock, and the nighttime show Busted Open After Dark is expanding from 3 nights a week to 5 nights a week, featuring a rotating cast of Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Denise Salsudo, and others. So that's going to take up a primary conjunction of the.
I didn't hear you mention it. What day of the week is the Ric Flair Tampa's bar review show?
It is the same time. It is the same time. Same time slot. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as the Tuesday and Thursday Real American Beer Drink Off Freestyle Wrestling Rolf review. You can find those on.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, Rolf.
Wooing!
We broke that out earlier tonight, Joe, over on the 3CT show because I was filling in.
Okay.
And Jim was telling us about all 307 people that have bought tickets to the first ever Real American Freestyle Wrestling show at Cleveland State University.
Wait,
home of
that's
your
a thing.
home of your
Yeah,
Oh
fighting
wait,
Viking.
that's
The
that's
Hogan
like
Biscuit.
the real like the amateur
Greco-
wrestling.
Yeah.
Greco-Roman wrestling, freestyle wrestling, etc. Which, of course, I made the comment: Americans don't watch that when it's the Olympics. You think we're going to
No,
go watch that?
they've sold 380 out of 3,800 tickets so far.
I'm surprised they've sold that many.
Me too, if I'm being honest about it.
So
yeah,
we were talking about it, and I literally looked up and said, Rolf.
Yeah. RAFW.
RAFW, because we were talking how, WWE,
gonna
World
be
Wrestling
Rawful.
Entertainment. Yeah. It's going to be
This show's
Roful.
gonna be Rawful.
Raffles are wild.
So we're
Like, if you were gonna have a real wrestling
Yeah.
brand
Mhm.
that was spearheaded by Kurt Angle and
Gable
Sheldon
Stevenson.
Benjamin.
well, minus the rape allegations, Gable
Sure.
Stevenson, minus the pissing allegations, Brock Lesnar, right?
Sheldon Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
Robert Lashley.
There you go. Like, if you were going to have a real wrestling company that was spearheaded by those guys,
Mhm.
sign me up. Maybe
Oh.
do it in not a 13,000 seat building that you're only going to seat 3,000 people.
Well, hold on. Now, here's the problem. If they're going to do this, I've walked into a couple of wrestling gyms because we had wrestling meets at our school. There's normally like 12 or 13 or 14 mats in there at one time, so that everyone's going
Right, 'cause
through
you're
the
doing like a
bracket.
tournament, yeah.
So it's like, if they're going to use that model and have all that going on, you probably need at least a little bit bigger of a venue. But maybe maybe their seating capacity is probably more in like the 8,000. Like, it could hold 13,000, but we're going to need more of that space for mats
Yeah,
and stuff
I
like
guess
that.
my point is just I'd be more intrigued by it if it was by people who have actually been real wrestlers.
And also a guy who isn't a certified racist.
Well, sure, but like the fact that like the two guys that are
sorry, that one was just too easy for me not to swing at. My bad.
But like the two guys that are spearheading this are the biggest, one of the biggest names in sports entertainment, WWF, whatever you want to call it, history. And the guy who went 83 weeks on Monday Nitro against WWF. Like, you're having two pro wrestle dudes doing the real wrestling company. Like, that'd be like
Me trying to start
Larry Bird starting a new hockey league.
me starting a salad company.
Right, like, no, dude, like Wayne Gretzky and Alex Ovechkin start a new baseball league. No, what? Fucking no.
Basketball.
Like, it just, yeah, it's dumb. I hope it fails. I'll laugh when it fails. Burn it down, piss on the ashes.
I mean, I also feel like part of it too is, where is the market for this? Like,
there isn't.
where are all these fans that are like, damn, I sure do wish there was real wrestling like out there.
You know who you'll get? MMA fans. MMA fans will watch this. They won't go.
Yeah.
They won't go, but they'll watch it, because just like UFC is starting a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu league. They had their first on UFC Fight Pass or whatever this past week. People watch it. Like, they'll watch it. Some will watch it just because it has Hulk Hogan attached to it.
Yeah.
They'll give it the first episode or the first tournament. The problem is what's the long-term ability to keep rate? I think that's more like, there will be people that'll go, oh, look, Hulk Hogan's involved in some sort of wrestling. They'll watch the first one and they'll go, that ain't wrestling, brother, and never watch it again. I think that'd be more my concern, would be the ability to keep people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost feels like this is ground floor UFC 1, where you're like, cool, these guys are going to beat the shit out of each other. It's better be good or I'm never watching again.
Yeah.
I just want to know what Bischoff's going to do when all these people show up without tans.
Glad this is a shoot, brother.
Just it's
Yeah.
rough. Anyway,
This is hot ass.
Would you have rather they started a new pro wrestling company?
Yes.
yeah,
Like if they
absolutely.
were going to do something, would you have been okay with that?
Yeah, I mean,
buy out control of MLW, reach out to Billy Corgan and invest in NWA, start your own thing from scratch, because at least those two guys know what the fuck they're doing.
yeah. Look, here's the thing: if Bad Terry and chasing youth Eric are going to do something in the wrestle sphere, I will not watch a second of Rolf. But if they start a pro wrestling company, I guarantee you I would probably, depending on cost. I mean, if it's $50, fuck off. But if it's, $20 for their first pay-per-view or whatever, their first stream on Triller TV, yeah, I'll get a group of guys together. We'll all chip in $450 and watch it together. I guarantee it. I'm at least intrigued enough to see what Bad Terry and Eric come up with.
If we were willing to spend $49.99 on the hopes of All In being successful, we're gonna sit in the hope, like the very first All In or All Out. Like
right.
we sat through that had no storyline build. It had nothing. It was 4 guys that were trying to blow the indies up.
I've bought Ring of Honor shows, pre Tony Khan, presents Ring of Honor. I've bought Ring of Honor shows when I haven't watched any of the product. I've watched TNA show pay-per-views when I haven't been like caught up on the product.
I fucking paid $9.99 for Impact Plus for a month to watch a show, and I didn't even know that 3/4 of the roster was there.
Right. So like, yeah, if you make it not a stupid amount of money, I'll check out whatever sports entertainment company Eric and company can come up with. Sure. Why not?
And if you put a show like a preview show up on YouTube, even if it's just introducing of you who the roster is to give people a chance to learn about people, you've already put yourself into a better predicament than Rolf.
Yeah. Oh boy. Do they even? I wonder if they even have like a YouTube
Rafwa
or anything yet. But where do we want to start tonight, gentlemen?
Do we want to do one of the blind rankings?
Yes.
Talk about some stuff and then do
the
other one and then go that way?
Yes.
All right. So I have 2 blind rankings. I have a Night of Champions non-Saudi Arabian.
Okay.
And then I have Saudi Arabia shows.
Oh.
I will give you all the year. I will not read the matches off to you. Once you lock in where you have that, then I will read off the matches to you because I have all the matches written down.
Okay.
Do we want to start with Night of Champions or do we want to start with Saudi Arabia?
Night of Champions, I'd say.
Joe, you good?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
By the way, the Real American Freestyle Wrestling YouTube channel has 310 subscribers.
That's every person.
Everybody that bought their tickets to the show.
Minus like the 60 people who haven't found out about it on YouTube yet.
I have more Twitter followers than that.
Maybe what it is you had to subscribe to YouTube to be able to buy the ticket.
You know what? That tracks. That fucking tracks. All right. Night of Champions. I will give you all the spoiler alert right now. This does not have the year that Chris Benoit was going to wrestle for the ECW title because I am not that big of a scumbag, but I did break that news to Jim on 3CT this week that Benoit committed the crimes that he committed the
I
same
totally
night as
forgot
Night of
about that, man.
Champions.
This whole show's fucking cursed.
So, all right. Year number one, we'll go to the year 2013.
All right, so I hadn't started podcasting yet, or maybe I just had. No, I guess I hadn't quite yet because I hadn't quite hit 10 years. All right, so I pulled up the list of main events.
Okay. I'll let you have the main events. Don't look at any more of the card.
No, because I just wanted to see the whole list. So this one, Joe, the main event, Randy
Okay.
Orton defended the WWE Championship against Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
It feels like it was probably a pretty decent one. You're starting to approach. So this was after the SummerSlam when Bryan got screwed, I think.
This was.
Yeah,
um,
because it would have been leading.
Yeah, Orton's the one that cashed in. Yeah.
I feel like
all
this
of-
one's probably pretty good. I'm gonna say this one's probably pretty good. So I'm thinking like 2, 3, maybe.
I feel like it's a safe 2.
All right, lock it in.
All right. Number two. On that show, you had Curtis Axel versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental title.
Classic.
AJ Lee versus Brie Bella, Natty, and Naomi for the Divas title.
The OG classic women's match.
For the World Heavyweight Championship, you had the challenger Rob Van Dam taking on known scumbag Alberto Del Rio.
Ooh, okay.
That was followed by The Miz versus Fandango.
That had to have been great.
Next up, pulling double duty on this show, Curtis Axel. He teamed with Paul Heyman to take on CM Punk.
Oh, now I know why Punk quit. Okay.
For the United States title, it was champion Dean Ambrose defending against Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Your co-main event was a tag title match that saw the champions, The Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, defending against a team that won the pre-show tag team turmoil, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, the primetime players.
Oh, this was in that pocket where the primetime players were legit. They had that
And then-
badass Saturday night main event or the primetime wrestling shirt.
Yep.
Oh,
And
so
then you
good.
had Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for the WWE title.
That sounds like a good card on paper.
pretty solid show.
Like I would go back and watch that.
Yeah, minus Alberto Del Ringus.
All right. The next year, 2010.
Right now.
2010 was a
2010.
rough year in pro wrestling.
The main event was a 5-way scramble. Randy Orton, Sheamus, Chris Jericho, John Cena, Wade Barrett, and Edge.
That was 6, isn't it? That's a 6.
Oh,
You
it is 6. I'm
definitely
sorry.
just named 6
Six-pack
people.
challenge. My
Oh,
bad. Six-pack
God.
challenge. My bad.
That sounds like so many people.
I was just like, if they booked a 5-man match with 6 guys, that's a 5.
That would be my favorite thing ever. It would
I
automatically.
mean, it would be the
number-
most WWE thing ever.
It would automatically be number 1 if that.
So it was a 6-pack challenge, and it was an elimination match. The time of the match, 21 minutes, 28 seconds. And I will give you all a stipulation that was added to that match. Because Chris Jericho did not win the title, he would leave WWE.
Oh, okay.
I'm guaranteeing you this is when he was going to do one of his Fozzy tours.
Hey, this is a Fozzy tour.
I'm just going to assume.
Man, that's a lot of people in a main event. I feel like this is just going to be overbooked nonsense. I'm feeling like a 4.
That's kind of where I was feeling too.
Let's lock that.
Plus, I do feel like 2010 was a rough. Like either 2010 was rough or 2011 was rough, but this was like close to 2011. So
yeah, it was close enough to be rough.
All right, the rest of your card: Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston for the IC title.
Okay.
Big Show versus CM Punk.
Ooh.
Oh,
Daniel Bryan versus The Miz for the U.S. title.
Oh, that's probably a good match.
probably a good match.
Mrs. Undertaker versus Melina in a women's title unification match.
That sounds like it stinks.
We will go to the next match. It is Mr. Undertaker versus Kane in a no holds barred match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I'm sorry. Canonically, those two have never had a good match against each other.
The Buried
Yeah.
Alive match wasn't terrible,
Yeah, and I mean,
but yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Next up, tag team turmoil match. 5 teams entered for the tag titles. It involved the champions, the Hart Dynasty of Tyson Kidd and D.H. Smith, the Usos, Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov, Evan Bourne and Mark Henry, and the inevitable winners, Drew McIntyre and his tag team partner, Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Okay, that card sounds a little rough, right? I'm at least happy that we left it lower than the first one we did.
Yeah, agreed.
Next up, 2015. Notably, the main event here, Seth frickin' Rollins, Sting.
Oh. That was like Sting's one match, wasn't it? Second match.
He got hurt in this match, and there
nice
was rumors that he was gonna win the title, and then he got hurt, and they pivoted in ring because he knew he was fucked up.
Now, I'm not asking Mike to confirm. I'm talking to Joe on this one.
Okay,
I think this was a night where Rollins pulled a double duty, maybe.
I will give you that. Yes, he did.
Okay.
I will be very transparent. He pulled double duty, and he actually wrestled the match before this match.
Like defending another title?
He defended a title.
He had the U.S. title.
He had the U.S. title.
He defended the U.S. title and then defended the WWE Championship right after.
So you know what's crazy? I've never seen this show. I know it for a fact because I've never actually seen this Seth Rollins match.
Oh man, I know. Like, and here's the thing: the match was pretty decent up until Sting almost died. But if I remember right, this was a solid show. So I feel like it's definitely better than the 2010. So it's got to be 1 or 3. My first instinct was to say 1, but I'm a Seth Rollins honk. So I'm fine putting it wherever you want to put it, Joe. But I feel like it's got to be above 2010.
Here's the thing. It's not like I can sit here and think of a single Night of Champions show that Mike is going to say, and I'm going to be like, oh, damn, that was the one that should have been number 1.
Okay.
So if you want to put this at number 1, I give it to you, boo-boo.
All right. Let's put it at 1 and hope that I didn't just make an oops.
All right. So 2015 is number 1. 2013 is number 2. Open spot in the 3. Open spot in the 5. The rest of that card, Kevin Owens versus Ryback for the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev.
Interesting.
Probably decent.
The Dudley Boys versus the New Day for the tag titles.
Okay.
Charlotte versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. I believe this was the end of Nikki Bella's 8,735 day run.
I remember that match being pretty good.
Oh boy, I'm going to read this team off to you and you're going to look at me and go, you're fucking crazy.
Oh no.
I'll read the good team first. The Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Jericho?
What?
And in the co-main event, Seth Rollins defended the U.S. title against John Cena.
Okay. And then, of course, the title match against
the title match ended the show.
All right, maybe I might have screwed up, but we have to press on now.
All right, we'll go to the year 2009. The main event: Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that the ladder match?
I believe that was at Armageddon.
Okay.
Man, this one is probably going to be better than the one I just put at 1.
And so, well, at least settle on a 3 for this one.
Yeah, let's go 3.
All right, you guys made that decision pretty rapidly. So the rest of that card. Oh boy, sorry guys.
Oh no.
Chris Jericho and the Big Show, Jericho, defended the tag titles against Legacy, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr.
Bull.
Christian versus Tommy Dreamer for the ECW Championship.
Bull.
We had Kofi Kingston, Carlito, Primo, Jack Swagger, The Miz, and MVP for the United States title.
Okay.
For the first of 2 years in a row, Michelle McCool versus Melina for the women's title.
Oh my god. How many times did they beat that match to death?
In the thank God we were sandwiched by women's matches, Randy Orton versus Triple H versus John Cena for the WWE Championship.
I'll probably a banger.
For the Divas title, Mickie James versus Maryse.
I love that match.
Intercontinental title, Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler is your co-main event.
Okay.
And then your main event is Jeff Hardy versus Phil from Chicago.
All right.
So you have no other choice but to put number 5, the next one in number 5. I'm going to read you off the matches, then I will give you all the year. The opening contest saw The Miz take on Cody Rhodes, Sin Cara, and Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. It saw Team Hell No win their tag titles from R-Truth and Kofi Kingston. Cesaro versus Zack Ryder, who won an elimination match in the pre-show to become the number 1 contender for the United States title. Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. Okay. Eve Torres versus Layla for the Divas title.
All right.
Your co-main event, Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. And your main event, John Cena, CM Punk, WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you all, because that's what I'm here to do, because I did my homework. If I'm not mistaken, this was, and I was correct, this was the double pinfall between Punk and Heyman, or Punk and Cena.
Oh, okay.
And the ref couldn't figure it out. And Punk left Cena laying, and that was, that's how it ended.
Okay. That's right.
So, yep. I was trying to remember because I couldn't remember what year it was. I almost thought this was the unification match after Punk left with the title, but that was not at Night of Champions.
That was a SummerSlam, I think.
It was. So your final ranking in order: 2015, the Hardys. Wow.
Yeah,
2013.
The first pitch at the Mets game, and holy fuck, do they look old?
They do. 2009, 2010, and then last place 2012.
There you go.
Don't hate it. I probably would have had 09 lower just because Christian versus Tommy Dreamer for the ECW title sounds like a real fucking barn burner.
Yeah, that's
steaming pile of shit.
All right. So we'll preview the show in a little bit. But WWE, despite all probably decent judgment, is heading to Saudi Arabia. Well, is in Saudi Arabia. They're there. They have feet on the ground. They have arrived. Yeah, they didn't change any plans despite what is happening in the world right now. So Joe, we'll go to you first. Mike and I already talked about this earlier on 3CT. Obviously, we'll give our thoughts here.
Sure.
But how do you feel about WWE's decision to spit in the face of logic this week.
So, okay. I felt a little bit more strongly about it about 2 or 3 days ago when it seemed kind of almost impossible for them to actually go through with this. You know, it sounded like the reports were saying that airspace was closed down. It didn't mean that they weren't going to figure out a way to get in, but that certainly was a point where it made you question, should they get in? Is that a safe space for them? And granted, right now, as much as things have in theory gotten better, they also really haven't, as far as we actually know. Like, something could still pop off at any given time. And the idea of having all of these American citizens who are high profile being in that area, I mean, look, for me personally, there's no amount of money that you could offer me to get me over there. Now, granted, there's not a lot of money you could offer me to get me on a plane from California to New York, period, let alone from New York to Riyadh. So, you know, like it was unlikely to ever happen even without principle. But at this point, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn because on the one hand, like I said, like I feel like the safety of the wrestlers and the crew and all the people. I mean, look, it was only what 3 or 4 years ago where there was almost an incident where they were almost not able to leave the country. Remember, like the Prince was not letting their plane take off for some reason. I don't know if like Vince owed him money or something, but like Vince was trying to kidnap one of his harem. Like I don't know what was going on, but they almost did not let that plane leave, and that was scary.
Yeah.
And I do feel like anytime you're going over there, it's just the unfortunate truth of the matter is it's a part of the world that's always in conflict. And they're kind of just literally smack dab in the middle of an ongoing war that's been happening for the longest time. So it's never been safe. Not once in all of the time of WWE traveling over there has it ever been safe. It feels less safe now because of everything going on, but you know, hopefully they're still taking the same precautions they've always taken, and hopefully they're being extremely smart about it. Because the other side of that token is for the people out there that actually are fans, for the people in the audience that are WWE fans and only get to see them the once a year or twice a year they come over there, and it is a big deal. You know, I feel bad for those fans if their show got canceled because of things out of their power. Now, obviously, like I said, like the safety of everyone is the thing that I'm most concerned with. But at the end of the day, WWE positions itself as an international entertainment company, and they go places that I'm going to say other people don't go. But the truth is, like, I don't know how many people actually go to Saudi Arabia with shows and stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of artists. I don't know if Beyonce or Taylor Swift went there in the last like couple of years, but I'm not surprised if the Rolling Stones go there. Or like I'm sure they must get some level of big league entertainment besides just WWE. Like there's no way WWE are the only people taking their money. So if WWE wants to position itself as a global entertainment company, and they put themselves in this position, and you know, as someone who works for them, you're putting yourself in that position. You're kind of agreeing like, hey, I know that sometimes I might have to go places that I might not rather be, you know? So it does kind of come with the job. It is kind of just part of the whole thing. And as long as, you know, as long as like if right now the air around that country was still shut down and they were just figuring out a backdoor way to get everybody in, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that is the worst idea ever. But everything's open now, and really at this point, it's no more safe, but not necessarily less safe than it's ever been. That's kind of where I'm at this moment.
Yeah, I think my approach is always to play in the side of safety and the safety of everyone involved, performers, fans alike. This time around presents a very, kind of unique and more challenging situation. And I was kind of in the same boat as I think a lot of people were earlier this week. Was maybe this isn't the right time to go over there, bud. And I still kind of feel that way, but obviously they're on the ground now, and there's almost no turning back. I mean, theoretically, if tomorrow we wake up and conflict has escalated, you can get on those chartered planes and get the hell out of Dodge and figure something out. But it's I guess I feel a little bit better now. Things seems to be a little bit de-escalated a tad to where we were, on Sunday, Monday. And here's the deal: right, wrong, or indifferent. I know we try to stay away from the ugly side of life and make this show a respite from the world. But right, wrong, or indifferent, the WWE has many people in its company and front office and all of that are loosely and not so loosely connected to the current administration. So if they're doing a show there, there's probably going to be a degree of confidence that things are going to go smoothly. So do I feel like the superstars are unsafe? I've seen videos of superstars interacting with fans this evening, and everything seems to be going smoothly so far. So that's at least the first step in the right direction, at least in terms of the next couple of days. And Joe, I've always been like you, because as people, and trust me, the politics and the reality and everything around the country and all of that aside, my stance has always been to the people of Saudi Arabia. The people of Saudi Arabia weren't asked to be born there the same way the three of us were asked to be born here.
Right.
So if they are wrestling fans and they get a chance to go watch a wrestling show and be entertained, who are we to say no? Yes, the politics and the business and all of that around it, we can be upset at. But there's times.
Let's be real here too, right? Like, other countries looking at their companies coming to America could feel the exact same way.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, especially with the way that we're looked at politically right now, outside of here by a lot of places. New Japan deciding they're going to do a run in America could easily have Japanese fans being like, "What the fuck? You're doing business with Donald Trump?" Like, that's a real reaction that they could have just as easily as we have, but it doesn't make us any less deserving of watching New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Exactly.
One thing that I think was interesting with this, and just one point I want to make before I'll let you guys continue. I don't think the wrestlers are getting bonuses for these shows anymore.
I've heard that.
It's something I came across, and I commented this on a Reddit post earlier this week, and I was kind of proud of myself for realizing it, which is why I'm going to repeat it here. I think the proof that we have, like undeniable proof right now that that's a thing, is the fact that Bill Goldberg's last match is not taking place in Saudi. Because if you're telling me that an extra payday could have been involved, Bill Goldberg would have quickly been like, so how about I have my last match in Saudi? But if there was no extra money in it for him, he was like, fuck, I'd rather just do it in Atlanta. Like, that is a genuine feeling I have.
That's kind of a great point.
I will disagree with that solely because it is the final match of Bill Goldberg. Probably wants Thank you. Probably wants his family there. Something that probably wouldn't be able to really happen in Saudi Arabia if Prince Ali G gets to determine who's in the crowd.
That's a good point.
If it was his second to last match and he isn't over there, yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly with what Joe's saying.
Bill Goldberg.
Correct. It's all about the payday. To double down now on what Joe said about not just from a wrestling promotion, I'm going to go to another level. There's an event going on currently that some of you know about, others don't. The FIFA Club World Cup, where you have clubs from across the country. England, Germany, France, America. Where is that tournament currently taking place? Right here, smack dab in the good old US of A. You don't think there are soccer clubs that are like, man, I'm really mad that Botafogo's over there playing in America, or Chelsea, or Juventus, or Real Madrid, high profile European soccer teams that are like, man, we're involved with something that's happening in America.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to remember what's attached to it. Money. Fans can be upset all you want. Fans can be frustrated by decisions. Real Madrid won their match today in front of Lincoln Financial Field in beautiful Philadelphia, home of WrestleMania 40.
Beautiful.
64,000 people were in attendance. FIFA is racking in the money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think those clubs aren't getting money to be there, aren't getting money to fly, being flown there on the dime of FIFA, not even probably the owners of the club themselves? And this is a multi-billion-dollar organization in FIFA. Not all the money's clean. A lot of it's corrupt. That's neither here nor there. It's a lot of money. Tomorrow you got two matches. One of them taking place at the Link, the other one taking place at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Teams are going to advance through this, and unfortunately, it's not working with the administration. It's working with the government body of the organization that you want to be involved in.
Right.
FIFA, Major League Baseball, the Women's Basketball Association, et cetera, et cetera. I said this on 3CT. I will double down on it right here. 5 years ago, I would have sat here on this show and told you, not doing it, not cool. If guys don't want to go, don't make them go. Feel like we may have saw that. AJ Styles and or Dominic Mysterio.
Right, yeah.
Man, I don't really feel comfortable. All right, we'll pull an injury angle. We'll say Dom's hurt. Have that match in a couple weeks. We'll put something else on the show to fill it. You guys are more than welcome to stay home. It genuinely feels like WWE has changed the business model over the last 5 years. 5 years ago, that happens. That guy's probably forced to go, probably loses in 4.5 minutes, and his contract's probably not renewed at the next time that the renewal's coming up.
Sadly, yeah.
Hate that it's a joke, but that's the way Vince ran the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I give WWE a lot of credit. They genuinely took their time to take a step back and go, does this make sense? Can we get there safely? Can we make sure everybody gets out safely? Whatever answers they came up with, checked the box on all three of them that said yes. And they probably went to the guys and said, we're still going. Does anybody not feel comfortable? Check, check, check. We're going to go. We're going to go do this because at the end of the day, they are getting paid a lot of money to do this. And unfortunately, the way the world works now is you go where the money takes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like that is kind of the thing too, is even when WWE went public, and Vince McMahon was in charge, it was still the Vince McMahon show. Like, Vince didn't care if people were pissed. The only time Vince really cared is if it really started to impact the bottom line. But otherwise, he was like, fuck it, they'll come back. TKO is in the business of making money. So what can hurt you monetarily is severely bad PR.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, is there a great PR in a company traveling to Saudi Arabia to do a wrestling show right now? Not really. But you go over there, you do the shows, everybody looks happy, you fly home, business as usual, life moves on. Nobody really bats an eye at that. What is bad PR is if one of your female superstars gets, gets hurt or something bad, something bad happens, whatever, something happens to a superstar because of the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens to the stadium, something happens to the, something bad happens while in those 2.5 days the WWE is there.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad PR that you struggle to have a short-term recovery from. That's a form of bad PR where people might actually tune away. Like, yeah, everybody mad. John Cena, the ending of WrestleMania suck. I'm not gonna watch WrestleMania for like a month. But like, this is one where you go, man, this is hard to come back from. Like, this one, I'm gonna go watch something else for a while. So TKO doesn't want that.
Nope.
So if they felt like something bad was going to happen, they wouldn't have done this show. You can make sort of a deal. We can come back later. We'll do it some other time. Blah blah blah. You can figure that out. You can figure out the dollars and cents of that. But you can't come back from something really bad happening. So that's why I think the next couple of days, still not a huge fan of it. I think you could have pivoted and done something, but I said from the beginning, I think I don't know if I said it to you guys. I know I said it to the 3CT guys, and I said it on Twitter and the 3CT account. I was like, WWE should move this show. WWE will not move this show, basically. I had no doubt, again, barring things really escalating, because there really probably was a point of, and maybe we'll find out on WWE behind the scenes or whatever the fuck that show, Unreal, when it debuts in a few weeks. But there was a line that never got crossed for them to actually have to hit the abort on this.
I would also say that you have to think, because of the investment that the Prince and Saudi Arabia has invested in World Wrestling Entertainment coming over, those guys and girls, the talent, are being escorted and taken care of at probably the same level as the Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They see this as a financial investment as well, that they don't want bad PR to come from, because they are trying to start their own soccer league by getting guys to come play there and getting, Ronaldos and Messis and guys like that, paying them a fortune, even though they're past their prime, to start their own soccer league and things along those lines. What could be bad PR? WWE wrestler injured during crazy situation amidst Saudi Arabia, Iran problems.
Yeah.
I'm almost willing to bet to you right now, by the time John Cena versus CM Punk goes final, because I do believe that'll be the main event of the show.
Oh, for sure.
I think there's a realistic world where they're telling those guys, you have 30 minutes to get showered and get on the bus, because we're getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be a quick exit.
I don't think that there is any world where you're like, you know what, we'll leave tomorrow morning.
Nah, you get it.
We're not even doing a post show. Here it is, boys. Go take a shower. Love y'all. Get in the bus. Let's go the fuck home.
Or I think it might be a really quick one. Like, I think it might be a quick Triple H.
Hey,
run down the facts and figures, take a couple of questions. Got to go catch a flight.
Well, you got to remember, there is not going to be a lot of the media there either.
No,
this is not an open to the public show. So you'll probably answer some from the newspapers and the reporters of Saudi Arabia. You probably sit there with the Prince. Thank you, your Majesty. Can't wait to be back for Royal Rumble. See you guys in January. Everybody take care. Stay safe. See you soon.
Yep. Easy peasy.
Get on the fucking plane and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get these goddamn snakes off this motherfucking plane? Sorry, I decided to say that's all.
But yeah, and ultimately, I'll just reiterate one more time before we wrap the topic. I just hope the next 2 days go smoothly and everybody gets home safe.
Correct. I think that's the thought process we have to have. Kudos to WWE for allowing people that didn't feel comfortable to not have to go.
Yep.
Now get home safe, and we'll worry about the rest of it when we can worry about the rest of it.
Yes, sir. Joe, any other thoughts on the weekend coming up?
No, I think you covered it. I mean, look, like I said, I think they're an international company, and this kind of goes. This is part of that. You know what I mean? Like, look, if there was suddenly a threat out here, or not even suddenly, like, look, WWE was literally the first company to put on a live show after 9/11.
Right.
And that
I mentioned that on 3CT.
And that had to be scary. You know what I mean? We knew that things were calmer, but it was 4 days later. How much calmer were those things? You know, like they're brave and they do this because it is part of the job. You know, at the end of the day, like this is what you signed up for. If you're working this, you know, if you only want to work in Oshkosh, Tennessee, you know, you work for Tony Khan. If you want to be an international superstar, you go work for TKO.
Right. Yeah. Other blind ranking, Mike?
Sure. I want to rapid fire this one to Joe. We did it on 3CT. I want to do the movie quote, the movie speeches.
Oh, yeah. Give him this.
So I want to hear Joe's opinion on this. So on the Tuesday episode, we did I did some blind rankings because that will air on Tuesday. I did American-based like motivational speeches, basically from movies.
Okay.
Again, 1 through 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. I'm gonna lead off here with you, Fievel from An American Tale.
Ooh, that's a great movie. Is it the first one or the second one?
I believe it's the first one.
I thought we said it was the second.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember which one it was.
I think it's
okay. I love me some Fievel. We'll put him. That'll be a solid 3.
All right, so Fievel at 3. Next up, the Miracle speech from Miracle.
Never seen that movie.
Fair. You need to see it now that you're a hockey dude.
That's fair. That's valid. That's valid. I like sports movies. I've always, even when I've not been a sports fan, I've enjoyed sports movies. Like I saw F1 today, and it has me convinced for there was 5 minutes during that movie where I was like, is Joe about to start watching race cars? The answer is no. But there was 5 minutes during that movie where I thought maybe I might enjoy this. I'm only going to put that at a 4 because I haven't seen the movie.
Okay. Jim, I will also tell you the part where Eruzione finally stops them from doing suicides. That part almost gives me goosebumps as hard as the Miracle speech. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like Dwayne right now.
That one is the one that almost gut wrenches me every time I hear him say it. I'm like, ugh.
So good.
Next up,
watching that movie tonight.
Yeah. Next up, Rocky from whenever he defeated Ivan Drago. If I can change and you can change, everybody can change. Rocky ends the Cold War.
Oh man, I love me some Rocky. I'm gonna go number 2 with that.
All right, so that's number 2. He has Fievel at 3, the Miracle on Ice at 4. Next up, we will go to President Andrew Shepard, aka Michael Douglas, from The American President.
Huh. I did not expect an Aaron Sorkin project to come up in this.
America isn't easy. America is an advanced citizenship, and you've got to want it bad because it's going to put up a fight.
See, this is rough because that's a really good one, and Michael Douglas felt like he could actually be president because of that movie.
He really did. Not gonna lie to you.
But I was saving my number one for one very specific one, and I have no idea if it's what's going to come up after this. And I feel really shitty if it wasn't, but I'd feel really shitty if it was, and I gave this one number one. I'm trying to read you and see if what I think was coming is coming. I don't see how it couldn't be if you're doing rah America speeches. Although I guess this was a little bit above America. I'm gonna go number 5 on this one. I'm gonna take the gamble.
All right. So at 5, you have the American President. 4, you have the Miracle on Ice. 3, you have Fievel. Second is the Rocky. Mankind. That's a word that should have a new meaning for all of us today.
Oh, okay, cool. I got it right. Okay.
We will go to President Bill Pullman's speech
from
Independence Day, where we will not go quietly into the night.
Yes. Oh my God.
That speech. Chills.
I consider that giving that speech to all of my servers at the beginning of every holiday, like on Mother's Day and like any day where we're gonna have just a ridiculous shift. I feel like lining them up. If they weren't all 18 years old and had no idea what I was talking about, I would line them all up and give them that speech every single time.
Three of them would know that.
Maybe.
Well, if you take Andy and Kelly out, one probably would.
Yeah, Kelly would know it. Kelly would know it for sure.
100%. All right, let's get to the wrestling one now that we've gotten through Joe's movie one. Saudi Arabia-based shows. All these shows took place in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I will give you the show in the year. I will give you the main event. Then we'll read off the show like we did with the Night of Champions.
Okay.
We will start Night of Champions 2023. The main event, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the Unified Tag Team Championships.
That was a good fucking match.
Yeah, I feel like there came a point where they stopped doing like glorified house shows and they actually started to put some bangers over there.
I feel like it was around this point. It was Triple H.
Yeah. Man, because there were some bad Saudi shows. I feel like this is gonna be around a 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Night of Champions 2023 in the 2 spot. We will go to the rest of that card. I'll read that card off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't we get the rest of that card?
Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles in the finals of the World Title Tournament.
That match was good.
Yeah, it was.
Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. Gunther defended the IC title against Mustafa Ali.
Wait, that's when Becky was wearing like the quotes from her book, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think
that's an all-time outfit.
Yeah.
Wild.
You better work.
Raw Women's title match, Asuka versus Bianca Belair.
That had to be decent.
SmackDown Women's title match, Rhea Ripley versus Natty. And your co-main event, Cody Rhodes versus the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Was that the match that Lesnar shook Cody's hand after the match?
I'm pretty sure it was.
That match fucking slapped.
I'm pretty sure it was. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like 80% sure.
It's good that we put this at 2. This might have been your number 1.
It could have been. It actually could have been 1, but yeah, two's a fine spot.
Like if Mike lines us up right now with all of the glorified house shows with Bill Goldberg, we're fucked.
Yeah. Then that's when we screwed up. But
if we end up with Goldberg Undertaker at the top by accident, like that's just gonna suck.
All right, let's go to Super Showdown 2020. The main event. Jim, hit the button.
Wait, which?
Bill Goldberg
versus The Fiend for the Universal title.
And I'm sitting here thinking, wait, when the hell did they go to Saudi in 2020? It was right before everything started.
February. Yeah, because they used to do a February spot. It would do Rumble in January. They would do Saudi in February, and then they would do WrestleMania in like April.
Remember, they put the Limoncello Chamber there a couple times in February because we had to call it the Limoncello Chamber because we didn't think it was cool to call it the Elimination Chamber in the middle of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been proper.
We're kind of lucky they're not doing one this year.
God,
it'd be real now.
Okay, so Joe, the real talk here is the Fiend Goldberg. Excuse me, the Fiend versus
Bill Goldberg.
Which in and of itself is not an awful match. It's an awful outcome.
Correct. Is that / the event, and I know we're just going off of basing it off kind of one match, worse than a Hell in a Cell that ended in a no contest? Because like that's the only thing that I could think could actually be worse. Well, no, except there's
Goldberg Undertaker.
Right.
Okay, so wait, let me throw out the 3 possible worst matches from this potential. Okay, Goldberg Undertaker, Triple H, and someone that nobody's ever recognized in their lives because it definitely wasn't Shawn Michaels.
They found in the airport.
Right, versus the Brothers of Destruction.
Oh, God, that was so bad.
Undertaker has not had a good match in Saudi Arabia.
No,
and that Hell in a Cell, I mean, like that Hell in a Cell and Goldberg Fiend are kind of on the same level. Like at least the Hell in a Cell was a good match until the finish.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh God,
and we gotta I wouldn't be against putting this at 3 because I don't know that you're gonna get a lot better.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, do we go at 3 and just because Mike could have those god awful ones in there?
Well, let's put it like this, okay? Our number 2 was 2023, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that I think actually could potentially deserve to be ahead of it is Bloodline Civil War.
Okay.
Right? Wasn't that Solo Roman versus the Usos? Wasn't that in Saudi?
I do not believe so. I believe that was at Money in the Bank in England.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Okay. So then I have no idea what could be number 1.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we obviously we can't move that one. Let's put this at 3 because I think there's more stink out there that we can get below it.
Stink.
That's got to be stink. All right, Super Showdown 2020. Rest of that card. Oh boy. The Undertaker won the gauntlet match to win the Tuwake Mountain Trophy as he filled in for Rey Mysterio, who was injured prior to the match by the OC.
Did he wear the mask?
No.
Damn.
In that gauntlet match included Bobby Lashley, Andrade, Eric Rowan, R-Truth, and AJ Styles. That match went 32 minutes and 27 seconds.
Oh God, that's way too long.
That sounds like hot garbage.
The Miz and Morrison defeated the New Day to win the SmackDown tag titles.
Wait. I totally forgot that the fucking Tuwake Mountain Trophy is the thing that looked like the goddamn
aggro crag.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God, that was a thing. I forgot that was a thing.
Holy crap.
You're welcome.
Holy crap.
The third match saw Angel Garza take on Humberto Carrillo.
No.
They're partners now.
Oh God.
Next up saw the Street Profits versus the Raw Tag Team Champions of Seth Rollins and his disciple Murphy.
Murph.
Big Murph.
Good old Murph.
In the Saudi Arabian Invitational, Mansoor defeated Dolph Ziggler. This was prior to him being Mansoir.
Man, swah.
Honestly, I will tell you this much: the greatest WWE Championship match of all time, arguably 5 stars. If it was in the Tokyo Dome, it would have gotten 105 stars. Brock Lesnar defeated Ricochet in 1:35 seconds.
I see what you did there.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Loved every minute of it. Eat, sleep, suplex, repeat. Roman Reigns defeated King Corbin in a steel cage match. And your co-main event for the SmackDown Women's title was Bayley versus Naomi.
Okay.
Next up, the Greatest Royal Rumble 2018.
Oh man, I mean, it did give us the fucking Titus O'Neil moment.
The
Well,
first
now that
Saudi
I-
Arabia show.
Now that I know the Bloodline Civil War never took place in Saudi, I'm very okay with putting this at number 1.
Yeah, because with it being the first one, like, there's part of me that thinks, and I'm trying to remember back, there's part of me that thinks that they at least put some quality content on it.
Was this the one that had the casket match?
With,
I'm not answering anything. I'm just going to tell you the main event was the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble.
I mean, come on, dude, that fucking picture.
That
Undertaker standing next to the aggro Craig. That picture goes hard, man. He may have never had a good match there,
Good.
but he got to stand next to the aggro Craig, so he's got that.
This is oddly a spoiler to how 28 Days Later ends.
You know what? I'm with you, Joe. Let's lock this one in at number 1.
It feels like the safest option.
It really does, because there could be so much stink out there that we
Yep.
might end up falling into having it number 1. And so help me God, if the rotting corpse of Degeneration X versus the brothers of Red Destruction end up there.
All right. Rest of that card. John Cena versus Triple H opened that show.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight title.
Okay.
Team Control Alt Delete. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus The Bar of Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag titles.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy versus Don't Hinder Jinder while he's swiping on Tinder for the United States title.
Everything with Jinder Mahal rocks.
The Bludgeon Brothers, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan versus the Usos for the SmackDown tag titles.
Okay.
That probably was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, gimmick was cheesy, but they still are good wrestlers.
Fatal 4-Way IC title ladder match. Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, The Miz, and Finn Balor.
Wait a second. Where the fuck did they hang the title from? Because isn't this shit ruthless?
No, they put the lighting structure.
Yeah, they always have that lightning.
Okay.
For the WWE title, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
The aforementioned casket match between The Undertaker and Rusev.
Okay.
Your co-main event was a Universal title steel cage match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
And the show ended with Braun Strowman holding up a very bright green title.
That we never saw again.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ate it. All right, next up, Crown Jewel 2023. Your main event.
I actually
Reigns.
have it. I actually have it on good authority. He gave the title belt to Jeffrey Epstein, and that's how he got Nick to be his tag partner at that one WrestleMania.
God.
Wow.
Like, that was how that.
You want to put that one up?
That was how that worked out. Like, I don't know why you're surprised
Thank
by
you.
this.
The views and comments made by Joe do not reflect Mike, Jim, or the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.
You
The
know,
main event
I realized earlier today, if you were a celebrity from the years like 1996 through the years like 2005, you're one of two people. You were either at all the Diddy freak-offs or you were at Epstein's Island. Like, there's no in between. You were one of the two.
Nope, pass.
Yeah, pretty much,
Hard
unfortunately.
Well, we weren't famous. Yeah,
Hard
no,
pass.
not us.
Hard
Famous.
pass. Main event
Or
of
you were in
Crown Jewel.
Scientology.
Ugh, God, even worse. Main event of Crown Jewel 2023. Roman Reigns defended the title against L.A. Knight.
So we have what left? 4 and 5.
Yes. And I will tell you, this L.A. Knight, this was when he interrupted Roman's entrance. He was the first one that played the I don't give a fuck about your aura. Like, the build of this match was perfect, even though we all knew that LA Knight stood no shot of winning. Yeah, it was perfect. I remember being an advocate for LA Knight winning this match during my anybody but Roman phase.
This probably could have deserved to be at number 3, so we should probably put it at 4.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we got to put it at 4 just in case Mike has one of those fucking shit bombs.
Yeah, I mean, also facts. Yes.
So yeah, this is definitely a 4.
Oop, hold on. Let me take this out. The rest of that card: Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley defended the Raw Women's title against Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. Solo Sikoa took on John Cena. Logan Paul won the United States title from Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. And in the co-main event, Cody Rhodes took on Damian Priest.
Yeah, I think that's a solid show.
I will go ahead and tell you on good authority, you guys absolutely got this right, because the final one was DX versus the Brothers of Destruction from Crown Jewel 2018. The rest of that card saw the first 4 matches in the WWE World Cup. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton, The Miz versus Jeff Hardy, Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley, Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Angle. The SmackDown tag titles had a match. It was The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro versus The New Day. Then it was the 2 semifinals that saw The Miz take on Rey Mysterio, and then Dolph Ziggler take on Seth Rollins. And then we had AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. My steal of the century here, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. Love that. And then your co-main event, Jim, you have a sounder for it. It won him the title, the best in the world. Shane McMahon versus Dolph Ziggler in the World Cup Finals.
Oh yeah, I don't have the best in the world on this board.
Holy shit! Though that was on the same show as the DX
Yep.
death.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking silly.
That's a show somebody booked.
That is a show that somebody booked.
Yeah, his name is Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh, horrible human being.
Trash. Awful. God awful.
All right. Well, now that brings us to this year's version of the Night of Champions. Let me find the graphic here.
Les Champions.
We have 6 matches this coming Saturday from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A 1 p.m. Eastern time start on this Saturday. And we will start with the we couldn't do an Intercontinental title match, so here's another one. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Mike.
I will double down here. I said it on 3CT. This has got to be the start of, we're going to find out what we got from Karrion Kross. I'm going to say it here too. Give me Karrion Kross to win. Give me the inevitable AJ Styles IC title so we get the Karrion Kross AJ Styles match at the Summerfest. We're going to find out real quick if that promo that Karrion Kross cut is going to be a difference maker, or if his contract's going to run out and it's just not going to be that great anymore. So I'll take Kross to get the victory.
All right, Joe.
I'm going to take Sammy.
I'm kind of with Mike here. I feel like you have to shit or get off the pot with Karrion Kross. Either and it's like, you know what? Let's give him his shot. From now till the end of August, when you do the Bash in Paris or whatever the fuck they're calling it this year. Now's the time. Let's Let's see if this guy can actually get people to care on a weekly major TV space as opposed to just like screaming into the internet. So give me Karrion Kross.
My ass.
Right. Like let's see what you got, kid. All right, next one, street fight, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, Mike.
I said again, they didn't do anything with the tag titles, but then Roxanne helps Raquel. It's street fight. I think this is how you get the title on to Roxanne, and we have the female version of HBK and Diesel. So give me Raquel to get the win with help from Roxanne.
All right. Joe.
I just don't think that the biggest women's star in the company is flying all the way to Riyadh to lose. So give me Rhea.
The
biggest women's star in WWE right now isn't wrestling on the show. Io Sky is somewhere doing flips.
I think the street fight stipulation is the tell here. If this is a singles match, I think Rhea Ripley wins in 7 minutes. Like, but the street fight, it feels like it's going to continue this. It's going to further the Judgment Day without Liv. Finn and Roxanne are trying to seize power, and now Raquel's caught in the middle, and Dom's going to be caught in the middle, and we have Evolution coming up, so Rhea's going to need a partner, or you know what I mean? Like there's added pieces to this. There's going to be more coming out of this. If Rhea wins, it's just kind of over and done and move on. Yeah, I think this is there's more to come. So I will take Raquel with shenanigans, picking up the win. Next one, singles match for the U.S. title. It is Jacob Fatu defending against Toyota Sequoia. Solo Sikoa. Mike.
Toyota, I hate you. I think Jacob Fatu walks out with the title. I don't necessarily know that he per se gets the pinfall victory here. I think JC Mateo gets involved, maybe the debut of Hikuleo, because they like debuting Samoans in a country that isn't America.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Jacob walks out with the title, but Solo might get a win via something weird or something, but I do think that Jacob's going to walk out with the belt.
All right, Joe.
I'm the opposite. I actually think Solo's going to end up winning the belt here. Definitely shenanigans. Definitely not doing it on his own.
How do you take the title off of him right now?
I think you can get away with it if the plan is that he's just going to win it back in MetLife at SummerSlam.
I hate fucking hot potatoing the title, right? To put it back on someone. The pop just doesn't feel justified. I understand what you're saying. I hate it.
Yeah, I think if you do have a like Hikuleo debut, that's how you get the title off of Jacob without it hurting him, and then when he gets it back, it adds some more spice to it. And yeah, this feels like a SummerSlam match. So I feel
especially on a 2-night SummerSlam, like that's going to happen.
Yeah, like that's the other thing I have to keep remembering is we have 2 nights of SummerSlam this year. So yeah, I'm actually going to change up my thought from 3CT, and I'm going to go with insert Samoan here debuts to help Solo get the title, and we get back here at SummerSlam. So Solo walks out as the U.S. champ. Next one, we have the Queen of the Ring tournament final. The winner is crowned Queen of the Ring and receives a match for their respective brands world title at SummerSlam. You have Asuka from the Raw brand taking on Jade Cargill from the SmackDown brand. Mike.
I will triple down on what I've said on this show once already and on 3CT tonight. I'm taking Jade Cargill because I believe Jade Cargill will walk into the Summerfest, win the title, only for Naomi to cash in on her at the Summerfest and leave with the women's title.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I definitely think this is being used to get Jade into the title scene that Naomi has a briefcase waiting to get her into, and Bianca is always kind of hovering around. I think those three ladies are about to cook for the fall, and I can't wait to see it. So I think Jade gets the win here. I do have to say though, and this is kind of fun. I'm just thinking this might be the first WWE PLE in forever to have two women's matches on it where neither is for one of the titles.
That's a good point.
I mean, I will say shout out to Asuka versus Io Sky for the women's title on a 2-night SummerSlam would be an absolute fucking banger.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Asuka can find her way back to a title somewhere else. This Jade's a star. It doesn't matter how green she still is in the ring somehow after wrestling for 6 years.
I was actually gonna say, like, Joe was like, I can't wait to watch them cook. Like, I could wait to watch Jade Cargill cook because
I mean,
it's like cooking a steak in a microwave at points with her.
I mean, here's the thing: the beauty is when she's put against really good wrestlers,
Correct.
they can get a good bit out of her. So
Absolutely.
Asuka's going to get a lot out of her.
Mhm.
You know, it's not going to be a 30-minute marathon, but
I'm more worried about the title match against the also green Tiffany Stratton at a 2-night SummerSlam.
yeah, the sad thing is like that one's going to kind of feel like, okay, let's get to the cash in.
I'm afraid of that because then you kind of look at Tiffany Stratton and you go, did we really even care about her title run? Because she lost it, and then the girl who beat her lost it in like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks. Like it's a no-win situation, is what it really feels like.
But sometimes first title wins just end up being kind of stinky, and because Tiffany's definitely in the company's future. So,
I agree.
Yeah, just get the stinky one out of the way. She had the cool moment with the Money in the Bank. We move on. But yeah, this is Jade easily.
Okay, but let's backtrack, and I don't mean to derail this. There's a show tomorrow in Saudi Arabia where Tiffany Stratton is going to actually defend the women's title against Nia Jax in a last woman standing match. What if Naomi cashes in there and it sets up Naomi versus Jade Cargill and Tiffany's not even in the match at SummerSlam? Does that help?
Actually, it probably could help.
I think that actually helps the Tiffany Stratton title run if she loses the title via cash in the same way that she won it after winning an excruciating last woman standing match, because then you could have her do other things, including the stuff.
She wins tomorrow. Nia freaks, squashes her. I say that in a respectful way, not in a
asshole-ish way,
not in a mean way, but beats her up, crushes her after the match, so it's an easy cash in for Naomi. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt Tiffy. That's actually probably the best way to do it.
I just thought about it because I'm actually looking at the card for tomorrow's SmackDown. It is basically Night of Champions Friday Night SmackDown. There's 3 title matches on that show.
Yeah, because
Julia's taking on Zelina Vega for the.
So that's Julia's winning the women's U.S. title.
Hey guys, that's 4 women's matches. 2 of them involving women's titles in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia over the course of 2 nights. Just throwing that out there. The Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six for the SmackDown tag titles. I think Dexter and Gacy win the titles.
That would be cool.
I think you almost need the Wyatts to win the tag titles. I think that'd be a cool moment for them to win it there. I just really cool to see that happen.
Can
But
you
I
imagine the IWC freak out when if 3 titles change
on the same episode of SmackDown?
On a basically pre-taped episode of SmackDown in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, I can't wait.
It will be it'll be an implosion, man. People lose their fucking mind.
Can't wait.
Just people just fucking heads exploding tomorrow. But anyway, moving on. King of the Ring tournament final. When the winner is crowned, the winner receives a title match for their respective brands' world title. I think both of these would be the SmackDown brand. It is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes.
You'll see, we've been talking about the SmackDown title, baby. And we talked about it. And I'm not going to spoil my main event here like I did there. I'm going to go... Man. I'm going to go Cody Rhodes, but I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton won.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the interesting part of this one to me is you're kind of analyzing like what we think the story is going to be, you know? Like, do we think the story is Cody's winning the title back at SummerSlam? Do we think the story is he's not winning it back on his first attempt? Do we think that the story is he's not even getting that first attempt yet and we're going to get knocked that down the road and Orton's the one that's the person that's getting the next shot? Like, it can go so many different ways. And again, you've got a 2-night SummerSlam. So, like, you can do Randy Orton, John Cena on a 2-night SummerSlam. And it can main event night 1, and it's not going to necessarily feel lesser than anything else. Or, you know, I think there's a real world where we end up in a triple threat match of some sort and having Punk involved at SummerSlam, you know? So...
I don't think that there's a world where John Cena does not main event night 2 of SummerSlam. I want to be very transparent there.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I think it's more likely that Cody is his opponent in some capacity, whether Punk's involved or not. Although, I mean, for a while, I had always thought that Cody was going to end up fighting Travis Scott at SummerSlam. I guess there's a world where Cody can end up fighting Logan Paul at SummerSlam. I'm going to take Randy Orton for the win. I think I just talked myself into that, and I don't like it.
Oh, if I hear that.
Well, here's the thing, and I didn't want to spoil it because I wanted you to have the ability to make whatever pick you wanted to make. Let's go back to Backlash St. Louis, where they build Randy Orton versus John Cena one final time.
Yeah, but they said that Rock Cena was a once-in-a-lifetime thing the first time, too.
Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
He's got 12 appearances left. Are we really running back Randy Orton when you have to get the when you have to get the Cody Rhodes rematch in there? Because you've never built that as once in a lifetime.
But do we have to get the Cody rematch in there? Just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Do we really need a second Randy Orton match either?
No, but if in the story of John Cena, there's more story with Randy Orton than Cody Rhodes.
And there's also more story with the guy that he's fighting that had a 2-week build to get there.
Oh, sure.
On this same show.
Oh, sure. But like, I mean, I feel like Randy Orton and John Cena have main evented how many SummerSlams? That's another run it back moment.
John Cena also has one big storyline arc that he hasn't completed yet, which I will get to in a minute.
Okay. Wait, what? Okay, we're talking.
Your pick on Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
I think it's going to be Cody, and it's shitty because if I hear that fucking Fiend song again,
Fiend.
Didn't Cody win the King of the Ring last year?
He won the Crown Jewel Championship last year.
Oh, okay.
That was
Close.
the big stupid title
Close.
that we'll never see again, by the way.
Thank
Especially
God.
because Liv Morgan, the women's Crown Jewel champion, is not there because she's hurt. So we'll definitely not see those titles this time. If I hear that fucking Fiend song. Anyway, I'm getting mad about it.
The winner of the King of the Ring last year was Gunther.
That's right.
He defeated Randy Orton.
Oh. So Randy Orton is the Toronto Maple Leafs of King of the Ring.
Fiend. Sorry.
I understood that reference.
See, I'm proud of you. Yeah, I feel like it's going to set up a shitty situation at SummerSlam because either Cody wins and people just go, ugh, what was the whole point of the last couple of months? Or Cena wins and they're just like, oh, this is a repeat of WrestleMania and this thing stinks. Like, I feel like it's just going to be a lose-lose. Unless somebody else is involved, but we'll figure that out as we get closer to SummerSlam. But yeah, I think Cody wins here. And then the last match is the singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena defending against CM Punk.
Cena's arguably one of, if not Cena's greatest rivals, will be the the late 2000s with CM Punk. The Money in the Bank match, taking the title and leaving, the unification match, big match John laying in the middle of the ring while CM Punk laid a pipe bomb. To the same thing happening this past week with John cutting the promo over a prone CM Punk. CM Punk is going to walk into Riyadh, a place that not a lot of people thought CM Punk would ever wrestle, even if he ever came back to WWE. Punk's going to walk into Riyadh, and Punk's going to walk out with the WWE Championship. We're going to have that moment where he's going to sit in the ring, he's going to be handed the WWE Championship, and he's going to tell himself, I'm home. But this is not his home. This is the home of Mr. Money in the Bank. This is the home of Seth frickin' Rollins. Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank. He stomps CM Punk. He walks out with the world title, and your SummerSlam main event is John Cena going up against his two greatest rivals, Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Give me Punk to win. Give me Seth to cash in. And let's enjoy the ride to Summerfest.
I like
Well,
that.
now, wait, isn't whoever wins the King of the Ring guaranteed a shot at SummerSlam?
Yeah, for whatever title. Glad there's a second title for Cody Rhodes to fight for, a title that he's never won. Glad that Randy Orton can take on Gunther as well, because Gunther ain't got anyone to defend against after he beats Bill Goldberg.
He better fucking beat Bill.
Because it's easy to put whoever wins King of the Ring in there against Gunther, because it's what they did with Damian Priest versus Gunther last year. You didn't have to build a title match there. You got a storyline here that could build itself into a high-profiled main event at a two-night Summerfest. The face turn has to start somewhere. What better place to start than New York City?
New York City.
So he can actually go out the last 2 months of it, the last 12 or the last 10 appearances that he'll ever make, being, let me throw the towel into the crowd, let me flick my hat, let me show the love to these people.
All right. I like it. Joe?
I mean, I'm gonna choose John Cena, but I wouldn't be mad if any of that happened. That'd be awesome.
I think CM Punk wins by DQ. I think Cena's going to pull the dick punch or the using the belt, and he's actually going to get caught this time, so that you can still maybe backdoor CM Punk into a title match at SummerSlam if you want to, or you sneak him into a title match against, because I feel like CM Punk's got to win a title here before too long, right? Like, what's the point of bringing him back if he doesn't win the title? Like, it's he got his WrestleMania main event, but like he was AEW champion. He's got to get a WWE title at some point. So, what better way than during a John Cena farewell or a Seth Rollins thing, like he's at his he's probably peaking for whatever time he has left right now. So yeah, I think Punk wins by DQ.
I think any way that we get Punk versus Cena at SummerSlam makes the perfect sense. Whether it's Punk winning, Seth cashing in, it's a triple threat. Whether it's the DQ finish, Punk gets pissed off, they get the rematch, and Seth cashes in that night at SummerSlam.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think Punk's first world title run has to be the one where he gets handed the title and it gets ripped out from underneath him.
Yeah.
Because then you pivot back into the Seth versus Punk stuff that we really never got a conclusion to.
Right.
So I mean that I'm okay if and honestly, if John wins, I'm not gonna be upset. This is the John Cena retirement tour for a reason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I just wanted a creative way.
Yeah, trust me, I'm the same way. That's why I was like, let's pivot around. Plus, the rumor is that Triple H doesn't like the Money in the Bank briefcase. Cool. Let's get rid of him early this year.
Right. He's gonna torch him real quick
before we have to worry about painting new ones and Seth Rollins coming out with new magnetic strips every week to put on there based off of whatever color suit he's wearing. So they changed the color of his fucking Titantron. I mean, because that's something that would fucking happen in the WWE. Like, I'm good. Like, let's just, if we're gonna burn them, let's burn them early. We already burned the women's one early every year. Like, we never fucking keep that for longer than 4.5 weeks. So the fact that we haven't cashed it in yet is still a fucking modern miracle.
Still astounding. Yeah.
So,
all right, wrestlers of the week.
Real quick before we get into that, currently fantasy wrestling scores, I lead the way by 1 million. Tim is in second with 72. Joe's in third with 67. Jim's in fourth with 66. You're only a point behind. It's a real bottleneck for second place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am currently leading by more points than Tim has scored.
Jesus H. Christ.
I'm up 151 to 72.
Holy hell.
I am up by 79 points.
That's unfucking real.
I mean, it helps whenever you have Obafemi, Jey Uso, Tony Storm, and Trick Williams on your roster from the draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
All having double-digit point totals, and that doesn't include the people that I've dropped.
That's a shit. Like the first time around, it was like, all right, well, let's try and get like all like the big hitters, and then like they never wrestled, and then it's like, fuck, well, let me try and get these people that wrestle a lot, and then like you just happen to get the ones that wrestle all the time. It's like, motherfucker.
Well, I got the ones that wrestled all the time, but then all three of them have held their title until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Fucking
so
hell.
All right, wrestlers of the week.
Joe, you want to lead us off, or are you good?
Yeah, because I actually saw the end of Raw, and go Cody.
There you go.
All right. Nightmare
The
Narcotic
lowest of the hanging
finals.
fruit.
Qualified for the King of the Ring final. Mike, you want me to go? You want to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will take Stacks, the new NXT Heritage Cup champ.
One Heritage Cup. I'm going to take a wrestler that Joe has on his wrestling league team. He retained his TNT championship a little while ago. Give me old Adam Cole, Old Bay.
Obey.
Joseph.
Let me take the female equivalent of Cody Rhodes. Let me take Jade.
All right.
Jade Cargill.
I will take punching her ticket to Evolution as your NXT Women's #1 contender, Jordan Grace.
Who do you think she's going to fight?
So, I mean, she's listed as JC Jane, right?
You don't think that Blake Monroe's going to get a title match before then?
I mean, in the next
2.5 weeks?
Basically 2 weeks. So there's 2 episodes of NXT, right? Between then and now and then?
Yeah, I guess.
Unless she gets a title
week.
match on Great American Bash, which is the day before Evolution, but like
It's kind of what I was thinking.
But man, no, see, because then you're in that tough spot of who loses. So yeah, I think Jordan Grace is just gonna smash maul fucking JC Jane.
Who loses is Jordan Grace, and then she goes up to the main roster, but that's neither here nor there.
Interesting.
I was looking at something earlier, and I wanted to pick it, but I don't remember what it was. Man, who did I say on 3CT earlier whenever you guys asked me?
Oh, I don't remember. That was
Fuck.
a long time ago.
What happened on SmackDown? I feel like something big happened on the SmackDown.
Randy qualified. Asuka qualified.
God damn it, where'd it go? Oh, there
Becky
it is.
Lynch retained the
Right.
Intercontinental title on Raw. Trick Williams retained the TNA title.
Sounds awful. Hold on, I'm almost to the SmackDown. That's not it, but that'll get me there. All right. Results. Man, come on, stupid ass thing. Oh, never mind. It was the Cena R-Truth, but it is a disqualification, so I don't want to pick R-Truth for that. I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna go over to Stardom.
Okay.
Suri, former WWE wrestler, won the IWGP Women's title in a 33-minute masterpiece against Sayuri. So I'll take her. She's the new IWGP Women's Champion.
There you go. That's how you do that.
All right. So that is Wrestlers of the Week. But guess what, guys? That is Wrestlers of the Month.
Fuck yeah, it is.
We will not have another show before July 1st, as that is Tuesday afternoon.
Yes, it is.
So, I will send you guys those probably tomorrow, because I got to clean up the spreadsheet, because I have shit all over the place, because I'm a fucking clusterfuck now that I have a job. So, Joe, you got anything before we go?
Nope. I just hope everybody had a safe weekend.
All right. Bye, Joe.
Bye.
You can get me at Big Jim Sports on Twitter and Blue Sky. Hit my link tree there. Yeah, Mike joined us on 3CT this week. So we kind of did a similar type show over there with some additional wrestling news stories, plus our version of Joe, older, white, and not gay, intern Mark. And then the Tuesday show dropping on July the 1st was an absolute blast. Had some fun mystery topics. So tune in and find out what we did over there. And Huddle Up Podcast, I think we're tentatively planning some recordings in July. So get subscribed over there. And discussions with a nobody will happen when I feel like it. But you can get all my projects on my link tree over on my socials there.
You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn on the Twitter machine. Thoughts and prayers to Chad Gable, out for an extended period of time with an undisclosed injury. They didn't really want to talk about it. I get it. So T's and P's to him. Wondering what they're going to do with El Grande Americano. Can't wait for Ludwig Kaiser, Apollo Crews, and Tony D'Angelo to play the role of him at some point, just to keep it. It definitely isn't Chad Gable. Looking so forward to that. But yeah, so to reiterate what Joe said, everybody have a safe weekend. Hopefully you enjoy your Night of Champions. Hopefully everybody gets out of there safely and gets back in time for Monday Night Raw. Until then, for Joe and Jim, I am Mike. We will see you next week on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.